So moving right along into a section that would be called the self-evaluation section, students get to evaluate themselves on their posture as well as their capacity to do teamwork. This one's a little more explanatory, I'm hoping, self-explanatory. And yeah, I included these diagrams from a long time ago, and yeah, they're just wonderfully expressive pieces of artwork. And they rank themselves in terms of consistency and reliability for each of these. And all it is to bring them back to the fact that when they work, their head should be level, relaxed shoulders, fairly neutral in the pelvis and wrists. They're breathing, they're not holding their breath, and that they understand that those little aches and pains, if they have them now after 2 appointments, they might need to make some revisions onto what they're doing, and hopefully that allows them to score themselves in a way that gives them feedback. And again, just like the others, they score themselves. If they feel they've done blissfully well, perfect, then so they score it as such. That grade here is then transferred back to that first page. Another element that I removed from the supervisor's signing is the fact that the students judge themselves on their teamwork. Now often, if a person doesn't cause problems, they can do well with teamwork. But what you'll notice about this group is that they actually work well together and they help each other out. So here are the elements of performance for the clinical teamwork, and here are the suggestions. They use their time well, they help each other out, and they keep the place tidy. They make sure maintenance logs are up to snuff. Yeah, they just generally help each other out and respect and cooperate with each other. They write down examples as they see them and as they may need pointing out. Hey, maybe you did help retrieve some linen. Maybe you did help clean up a mess. Maybe you helped solve a problem. So have them write them down, they record them, and again, they score them and transfer them to the first page, the summary page. Now I'm going to jump into a second area. This is where the faculty actually sign off on performance. And one of the things that I've noticed over time is that students haven't been actually doing this element. So you'll notice on the competent case presentation to colleagues page, they have this preparatory question, set of questions to help them make sure they're articulating to their classmates. And they need to run through it themselves, but also run it past a colleague. So have a colleague evaluate them on it. Now, it's just a template, so they may want to have a person sign 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter to me, but just an acknowledgement that they have a colleague, a classmate, sign off on it. I mean, they're buds, so they're going to get their buds to sign off on them, and that's probably the reality. Here are the criteria, the performance criteria that go into their case presentation tracking sheet. It's meant to be a synopsis. It is meant to be no more than 5 minutes, because that becomes critical. There will be days where more than one person wants to present. This is a way to use their social skills to facilitate others' learning, and they don't have to experience things directly themselves, but they can learn through the experiences of their classmates. And this is what I try to take advantage of. Collectively, it has worked and it continues to work. So I encourage you at the beginning of each day to ask people if they have a case to present. And at the end of the day, if they look like they're mulling about, have them actually prepare their case for the next day. So again, a little reminder, just to help them out. One last part of this grading package is the module. And again, I'm pointing out where I've experienced issues in the past. Faculty sign in two places according to what I understand, and I'm modeling this from the modules that were in level 3 and level 4. Sorry, I don't remember if they were in level 4, but in level 3. The faculty sign off on a page, which is a separate page, and it walks them through the things that they need to do to practice. They sign off on that page, and the students, with glee and a smile on their face, should also bring the summary sheet to you so that they're not signing your signature here. They're in fact, they're getting you to sign twice, really, so that they have because I don't see all of their modules. They can hand them in at the end, but I want to see the summary sheet. So in fact, the faculty has signed off on them. So again, this gets transferred back to the summary sheet, and hopefully, ideally, at the end of the semester, will just have this summary sheet, and I'll look at it, I'll total it, and I can audit the pages for signatures here, here, and here, and also down at the end for the presentations as well as the modules. So you will receive each of the modules as an example in a separate file. You can look through them if you wish. You don't have to see the students doing them. Encourage the students to do them with a patient rather than a classmate, because it just bumps up the seriousness of the issue. They are put on the spot a little bit differently with a patient than they are with a student. Try to have them do a module that's relevant for the patient's case. One of the things that I haven't mentioned so far is that the students have in fact learned to evaluate each of these regions of the body. They've learned to do range of motion, they've learned to do muscle length and strength, as well as differentiation in each of these regions. They've learned to do joint play, and they'll be practicing their joint mobilizations in each of these areas. So they should not have issue with the modules. Where they might need help is some of the measurements associated with some of the modules, but that's part of the learning phases that have been mapped out previously in the schedule that I provided earlier. So again, these modules should be just them exercising their skills, practicing their skills with an unfamiliar participant. So just as a summary piece for this section, what I want to iterate is the fact that with the posture and their teamwork skills, their presentation skills, and the modules, these are in their hands more so than in the supervisors. Supervisors, please encourage them to do these things, but at the same time, the students need to bring these forward, not in competition, but just to make sure they utilize their time well, because they are responsible for doing these things, and they do transfer back to their grading summary form. I'm hoping that each of the tracking mechanism produces the results of the student owning their learning, demonstrating their learning, and showing us their learning through the fact that there's 5 supervisors that they see, and I'm hoping and I'm optimistic, and it has worked, that this tracking permits that growth and development. I hope that helps, and I think that concludes my orientation. Thank you.